Welcome back to the show. I'm Journey Taylor and I'm here with our special guest, Mia Monet. She's the morning anchor and a reporter for Channel 2 TV station here in Baton Rouge. Ms. Monet, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, Journey.
Where are you from?
Born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana my whole life.
Tell us about your upbringing.
My upbringing, I was born up in the uptown neighborhood of New Orleans. Uptown was always central home for me. So I kind of started out on the West Bank of New Orleans. I went to elementary school at Terrytown Elementary, but then Uptown was always central because that's where my whole family has always been. Me and my mom, we just lived on the West Bank for a while, but we went to church uptown. My great-grandparents' house was uptown. My great-aunt's home was uptown. So every Sunday I was going, spend the weekend uptown to go to church. And then I ended up going to school uptown as well. I started at Sophie B. Wright Middle School, which is uptown. It sits right on the corner of St. Charles and Napoleon Avenue, right in the heart of uptown New Orleans. I went there for middle school and I also went there for high school. So that's a little bit about my upbringing, but uptown has always been home for me.
What morals and values did your parents instill in you?
Morals and values that my parents instilled in me. My parents instilled the ability to be able to work for everything that you want. Be responsible, be respectful. That is something that was always instilled in me because at the end of the day, every day that you walk out of the building, every day that you walk out of home, you are a representation of your family. You represent your mom, you represent your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, whoever raised you up. That is who you represent, and you're showing the world what they are teaching you. So my parents always instilled those values in me to work hard, to be respectful, to be responsible, to be honest, and to value the people and be nice and kind.
As a youth, what schools did you attend?
As a youth, like I said, as a youth, I went to Terrytown Elementary, and then I went to Sophie B. Wright Charter School from 6th grade all the way to 12th. And then if we're talking about schools for college, I went to Tuskegee University. I graduated high school in 2016, in the spring of 2016, and then I started at college in the fall of 2016, and I was at Tuskegee from 2016 until 2020, and I graduated college at the worst time to do anything successful in your life, the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. So it was a little disappointing my senior year of college when I basically went on the spring break that never ended. I was on spring break and then we got an email that said we were going virtual for the remainder of the semester, and that's kind of how my senior year ended, on a virtual note.
Ms. Monet, tell us some of your best memories of high school and college.
Oh, my best memories of high school and college. Best memory of high school, if I had to think back, would probably be, obviously, I'll say it was homecoming queen. High school, I was voted homecoming queen in high school. That was probably like the highlight of senior year. That was the highlight of high school as all together. So that was a pretty cool moment, being voted in as homecoming queen. And then I was also voted in as student body vice president. One of my really close friends, we ran together. She ran for student body president and she wanted me to be her vice president. So I ran and we both won our elections and we both served as president and vice president for our senior year. And then I was Miss Sophie B. Wright Charter School for my senior year as well. And as far as college memories, oh geez Louise, I have so many. I could go back to freshman year when I did the freshman dorm step show, or I could go to when I did Stroll Like an Alpha, which is like a step competition, both of those. You do, at Tuskegee, you do the freshman dorm step show in the fall. Like as soon as you come in, like a week after starting school, they have they put out the little paper if you want to step for your dorm, and all the freshman dorms have a team and you sign up and you represent your dorm. I signed up. The funny thing is I actually quit. I quit like a week before the show because I remember that was probably one of the low moments. I wish I would not have quit, but it also taught me to keep pushing because I quit. I had been going to practice for about 2.5, 3 months. And then one day I got really frustrated because I couldn't learn this one step that everybody else was getting. And then I just got frustrated and I walked out of practice and I quit. And I honestly wish I wouldn't have, because once I was at the show and I was sitting in the audience just watching my team, who I'd been practicing with and spending all of my days and nights with for the last 2.5 months, like reap the benefits of the practice and reap the benefits of all our hard work. And I wasn't out there on the court with them performing in front of everybody. That was a really sad moment, but it was still a highlight because I was able to watch them. And then Stroll Like an Alpha was in the spring semester of freshman year. And that was a lot of fun. I stuck it out that time because I remember quitting the freshman dorm step show in the fall, and I said, I'm not quitting this time. And it got really tough and it got really hard, but I figured it out. I made it through all those steps, and then my team took home first place. So that was a highlight of college, and then another highlight of college, I guess, would just be my friends. All of the friends who I made in college, I made so many amazing friendships. The friendships that I made in college are the friendships that I will cherish for the rest of my life. Even in high school, yes, I do have friends from high school, but those friends in college, things were just different. And I was 5.5 hours away from home, and you really change, you mold. College changes who you are because you have to really go off of a level of independence and be away from your parents. And you are doing that with other people. And you are learning about independence with other people, with your peers. And those friends who I went through so much stuff with in my 4 years, they are definitely like my core group of friends. And then I guess another highlight from college would be, I would say when I was crowned Miss Purple and Gold for the Lambda Epsilon chapter of Omega Psi Phi. My junior year, I went out for the Miss Omega Psi Phi pageant. I placed, it was like 12 girls. I placed third, so that made me, I was able to make the court, and I was Miss Purple and Gold. So that was a really cool and fun experience that I spent on court that year with them.
Who were some of your teachers that made an impact on you?
One teacher that made the biggest impact on my life, and she's still in my life to this very day, Miss Dana Anderson. Miss Dana Anderson, and I would also say Miss Abril Horn. They were really big and impactful, but Miss Dana Anderson, she is definitely like family. She's more like a second mom to me. She actually started teaching me. She taught me when I was in 6th grade. She taught me English in the 6th grade. And then I was on the majorette team when I was in middle school and high school as well. And 7th grade year, she became the majorette team sponsor. So she was the teacher in charge of the majorette team. And when I tell you we got so close, she became like a second mom to me. And my mom, she was such an interactive mom, especially like because her job was right up the street. My mom worked at Turo Hospital, which is right up the street from my high school. So after my mom got off work, she would drive right on down the street and she would watch me practice. And her and Ms. Anderson started having conversations just, while I would be practicing. And they got really, really close. And next thing you know, I'm either riding home with Ms. Anderson after practice, she's dropping me off, and then her kids are coming. I'm babysitting her kids, and then I'm going to spend time at her house. She started doing my hair because Ms. Anderson knows how to do hair. She started doing my hair throughout high school. We got really, really close to the point where her son, he ended up following me to Tuskegee because her son is a year younger than me. DJ, he's 1 year younger than me, and we did our college tours together. So my senior year of high school, my mom and Miss Anderson, they took me and they took DJ, her son, on college tours. And one of the tours that we went on was Tuskegee University. And I fell in love with the campus, and DJ was swearing to God he didn't want to be anything like me. He was like, I'm not going to Tuskegee. I'm going to go to FAMU. I don't want to be by Mia. And guess where he went, Journey? Where he went? He went to Tuskegee. The very next year, after I had been there a full year, he was watching all my stories on Snapchat, and he saw how much fun I was having at Tuskegee, and he wanted to be just like me. So he followed me to Tuskegee University. But that relationship is so important to me to this very day. Her daughter is like my little sister. Her son is like my brother. And that all started when she was just my teacher in the 6th grade. And it's still very strong to this very day.
Why did you decide to get into television?
It wasn't really about television for me. I think it was more so about the ability to tell stories. I wanted to be a journalist who told stories and who made an impact. And I watched as Sally Ann Robertson, she is one of the most legendary Black anchor morning news women to grace New Orleans TV back when I was coming up as a little girl. Every single morning, me and my mom would watch morning news, and we would watch Channel 4 WWL. And I absolutely loved Sally Ann. I loved the stories that she told. I loved the impact that she had on our community. And I wanted to be just like her when I grew up. I wanted to be able to tell the stories of the community. I wanted to be able to have that impact in the community to where I really truly made a difference. And this is how I wanted to do it. And I'm thanking God every day that I get to live that out.
What's it like being a news anchor?
What is it like being a news anchor? I love my job. I love what I do every single day. I love being able to go out in public and people see me, and then they feed into me. They fuel me, and it makes me so happy when I see people and they tell me that they love the story that I did, or they love what I did when I was over here reporting, or they love what I did when I was over there reporting, or I inspired them to want to go here. I inspired them to want to go to this place, and it's all because they saw me do it. And so I think that's one of the coolest things, being able to, like I said, have an impact in the community. But being a journalist and being on TV, I absolutely love that impact that I get to have every single day.
Are you ever nervous when you're on the air?
Am I? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't get nervous. I definitely get nervous. It just depends on what's happening. It depends on what type of day it is, how I'm feeling. I don't get nervous every single day. But I do get nervous depending on how big of a deal it is. Like if I have to interview the mayor, I'm probably going to be a little nervous about that one, you know. But it really definitely depends on what the story is, how impactful the story is. I remember I used to get nervous a lot when I first started out back in 2021. I used to always get nervous, but I don't get nervous nearly as much as I used to now. I get nervous every once in a while, but not nearly as much as I used to.
What are your favorite stories you like to cover?
My favorite stories that I like to cover, ooh, that's a difficult one. I like to cover a wide range of stories. I like to cover stories that help impact the community. My favorite stories, I guess you could say, to cover are any story where I'm able to go into the community and showcase something absolutely beautiful. Any story where I'm able to come into the community and really get to know people and make an impact like that. Like, I did a story at C-Tech about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago at the EBRZ Tech school. And I had the chance to go and meet with the culinary students at C-Tech. They are cooking some amazing dishes, and those kids are really learning how to cook. And it's beautiful to witness it because some of them, they really have a passion for it. So I loved being able to tell their story and to be able to go meet them and meet people like you and all the people in your class.
What do you like most about being a reporter?
What I like most about being a reporter, I like that my job is not a desk job. I don't like the idea of staying indoors all day. It boxes me in. It makes me feel bored. I need to move. I need to go out and see stuff. It's always funny because when people see me out in public, sometimes they say, girl, you be everywhere. I do. 1 minute I'm in Prairieville, 1 minute I'm in, like 20, 30 minutes later, I'll be somewhere in Zachary. 1 minute I'm in New Orleans, and then the next minute they'll have me somewhere in Livingston covering something, and I'll do this all in one day. But I love it. I love being able to travel, and I mean, I guess you could call that traveling. I love being able to like go through the community, you know, and be so many different places and see so much in such a short amount of time. Like, on Monday, I'm probably going to get to go to New Orleans to cover Bayou Classic, you know, and I think that is so cool to be able to do that. And then later on that day, I'm going to be on the news desk anchoring the noon hour. So I like the versatility of being able to travel throughout the region.
What are some of the challenges of your job?
Some of the challenges of the job, how difficult some of the stories can be to tell. Some of the stories that we have to tell are very difficult and hard because they're so emotional. And I think some of the really hard stories, especially when it involves the death of someone, whether it's an elderly person, whether it is a child, it is always very hard to tell, especially when you go out and you meet the family, or if you're on the scene of something. That is one of the most difficult moments because in that moment I am sitting there and I am witnessing one of the toughest days that a family will ever have to go through. I am witnessing a moment that they will never forget. If it is them finding out that their loved one has passed on, especially if it is about a tragedy, that is probably one of the hardest things about the job. And when you have those situations, there are ways that you have to go about being respectful, especially because you have to remember that this is the toughest day of someone's life. And I've been on scenes before where I've watched as a mother found out that she lost her child. I've been on scenes where I have watched as a grandmother consoled her grandson as he looked at his baby boy no longer with him. And that is probably the toughest thing, having to be there and witness that. And those moments are not easy. And you have to remind yourself that you have to step away. Because sometimes with this job, you do need a mental break from all of those tough situations that you're constantly being thrown into.
What are you passionate about?
What am I passionate about? I mean, I think the best thing to say is the community. I'm passionate about the community. I'm passionate about telling stories. I'm passionate about meeting people and being an inspiration. I love this quote. I don't know who said it. I know I wasn't the first person to say it. I aspire to inspire. And I mean that. I aspire to inspire the next generation like you, Journey. I aspire to be an example that people can look up to. And I am so passionate about doing that because that is something that I'm so big on. And I'm so thankful that I had role models and mentors who I was able to look up to aspire to do what I do now.
What would you like people to know about Mia Monet?
What would I like people to know about Mia Monet? I don't know, Journey. That's a difficult one. There's so much. I mean, I'm just a fun person. I'm a fun person. I'm a cool person. I think people get that, though, but I don't know. Some people don't. I'm human, you know? I think that is something difficult, too, that I think should be pressed more. People see us on TV, and they see us so polished and sitting up straight, and they see our hair done and our makeup done, and then the moment that we make a mistake, it's like, you know, but you have to remember that we are all human. I am also human. I make mistakes, and I hope that I am given grace when I make those mistakes.
What do you think about our TV studio?
Oh, I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Y'all are amazing. I want to come and help. I want to start coming here weekly. I love what y'all are doing here. This is absolutely beautiful.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, that's a difficult one. Why'd you ask me that? In the next 5 to 10 years, I mean, that's always such a difficult question because it could change. And I remember, here's the funny thing. I remember probably being your age or younger, maybe in 7th grade, I thought I would be married by 25 and have kids. That didn't happen. But I'm also not mad that didn't happen either. I think that it's all in God's timing. Where do I see myself in 5 years? I see myself having grown more in this career field. I see myself doing bigger and better things than what I'm already doing now, and I am doing absolutely amazing things. So I pray that God keeps blessing me with the opportunities to keep doing what I love to do every day.
What advice would you give young ones who are interested in becoming a news reporter?
Advice that I would give young ones who are interested, I would tell you guys to start as early as possible. Like right now, 6th graders, 7th graders, y'all have these smartphones. And when I was coming up, we had smartphones too, but they were not as advanced, right? They were not nearly as advanced as they are now, and y'all have access to this. So my advice would definitely be to start as young as possible with just like what most people in this generation are already doing. Record yourself. If you want to be a journalist, start recording yourself telling people stories, right? So if you see something happening, pull out your phone and then make sure that you are trying to present yourself in a respectful manner and start telling the story. Like if you're out at Walmart and you see police on the scene at Walmart and they're evacuating the store, that's a prime time for you to pull out your phone and be a reporter. Ask mom, let me stop. Can we get somewhere safe really quickly? Pull out your phone and then tell your phone what's happening, or tell Instagram what is going on. Pull out your phone and just go, hey guys, so I'm over here at Walmart right now. I'm with my mom. We were grocery shopping, and then look what we saw. We saw police officers pulling up and evacuating the store. We don't know what's going on, but I'm going to see if I can talk to one of the police officers who can hopefully tell me, and I'll let you guys know and update you about what's going on at the Walmart over here on College Drive.
Ms. Monet, is there anything else you would like to add?
I would like to say, keep striving, Journey. You're doing an amazing job, and you did an awesome job interviewing me today.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being on our show today again, and it was nice meeting you.
It was a pleasure to meet you too.
We'll be back after this break.